What's up, people? Let's have a quick history lesson, man. Some people will accept this, some people won't. But I always encourage a person to do their research, just as I've done my research. I try to tell people that black doesn't mean African. Black doesn't mean you're African American. Follow me. Especially if you're from Louisiana, Mississippi, these lower parts of the country. There were a lot of black Indians, which you are the descendants of, right? And I'm just going to speak on Louisiana, because that's the state to which I was born in and I was raised in, and that's my heritage. You can do your information on whatever state you in, but I'm going to do Louisiana. A lot of the French, which goes to speak before I even make the first statement, when I say it's French, you see Louisiana was colonized into almost like a French state, right? Truly and be told, it was Creole, which the Haitians was there, which were also descendants of the black Indians. The land was, the French came and colonized Louisiana and put all the Indians, which were the black Indians, the original Indians, into concentration camps, which at that time was called contraband camps. They put these people, which were called the Aborigines, I think, and you had the Mongolians. There's two different types of people. They put them in these contraband or concentration camps, and they left them there. Over 100 and something thousand people died because they starved them to death. They murdered them, and they just pretty much buried them wherever they fall at, just dig a hole and put them there. This is when your identity was stolen. The history books tell you you come from Africa. The history books tell you slavery, which attached that word slavery to black people. So when somebody says slave, they automatically think about is African or black. And we have inherited that mindset because we have been taught that in school all our life. Your heritage is Africa. You come from Africa, and they have embedded that into you. And a lot of us never turned away from that because we've been programmed with that. Now, let's just understand where history books come from. History books are created and wrote in Texas. We all know what the state of Texas represents, even though it's a land of opportunity now. At that period of time, Texas was what it was, and still is, because right now it's a Republican state, and right now Republican may be called or looked at as, you know what? These were the people that's creating the history books and writing in the books what they want your child to be taught or what they want your child to learn. And that is distributed throughout the country. Until you may go to college. If someone was fortunate enough to go to college, then you start learning about black history and things and so forth, but you still have to do your own research. Now, black to the Indians, the black Indians. There was no actual European type people in the bottom half of Mississippi, Louisiana at that time. It was what's known now as the Haitians, and they only call it the Haitians because when the French came and they took them back into the islands and so forth and so on, and they created this concept of, okay, it almost created an area to say, this is where you belong, this is where you're from. But the history books only start in the middle. You see what I'm saying? Follow me. The history books start in the middle, which saying only where the, let's say, blacks or Africans came from Africa in the slave boats, and then they come to America, and that's where it started. But these people was already taken from the already United States. That was already, that they say they claimed they discovered. The Indians that were here with us were black folks. So when they captured black folks and took them to Africa to be slaves, which a lot of black slave owners was in Africa as well. Now I'm gonna show you how they trick you. They tell you that you're a descendant of Africa, and they tell you that your bloodline is in Africa, and they tell you that's the motherland in Africa, to get you to embrace your oppressor. You see what I'm saying? Africa was your oppressor. So if I tell you everything about you is Africa, I can get you to embrace that, and you not even knowing that you hugging your oppressor. That's to keep your mind off of you being the true kings, and you bring the true descendants of the land, which were the black Indians. Every part of Louisiana is an Indian tribe name. You see what I'm saying? Choctaw, Tunica. That's really, well, they got some Tunicas in Louisiana, but you have Tunica, Mississippi as well. Anything that you can look up about Louisiana, of their parish, or what they call parishes, that which were broken up in tribes. Your parishes is actually your tribes of different tribal lands for the for the black Indians. That's broken down into that. Now they call it parishes. But those are tribes to which those black Indians land what they lived on. That was taken from them. Now what they did was take your land from you and then give it back, tax it back to you as a citizen, and charge you taxes on it. You see what I'm saying? Follow me. This get way deeper than that. If you ever heard of the $5 Indian, I'll explain it to you. The $5 Indian is white folks, Europeans, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, seeing that the black Indians were going to get their reparations, meaning that get paid for their land, meaning that they was going to get a lot of free land, they was going to get money, they was going to be recognized by the federal government, correct? So what these Caucasian, white people, whichever did, paid $5 to the underhand table, the people that were creating these cards that they was giving them to say that, okay, you are a descendant of an Indian tribe. They'll pay them $5 to put their name on it. Once they put your name on that card, it goes into the archives. So when you look it up, or when they start dispersing the money, I would see that your family member or anything attached to that name will be recognized as an Indian. Therefore, you will get the land, and you will get the reparation that comes from the black Indian. You feel me? That was their way of keeping you out of getting what was owed to you from the land they stole from you. That's why when you see Indians, if you see a white Indian or a mulatto Indian or things like that, those are the descendants of the $5 Indians of the mixed race. Those are not the true Indians. Those are the ones that's getting the money and getting the reparation off your back, off your land. Now, I'm going to make you mad about some shit. What the government did was, if you look at, let's say Natchez, Mississippi. Natchez was a tribe that was for the black Indians. That was a tribe called the Natchez Indians. That's why you have Natchez, Mississippi. The Natchez Indians are still alive and well today. If you go on your phone right now and you type up Natchez Indians, you're going to see people pop up that look like me. The federal government said we are not recognizing those type of Indians because of their skin. They don't want to say, I'm going to recognize a black Indian, because once you recognize that black Indian, there's more descendants that come beyond that. So we have to pay them. We have to give them the land. I challenge you to do that. Look up to that. When you go to Mardi Gras, stop going to Mardi Gras just to drink and have fun. When you see these colorful things, that the hats with the big feathers on it and things like that, you think that's for show? You think that's just to be cute? That is the black Indian that created that. That is their way of showing their culture. But the federal government don't recognize them. They allow them to practice it, but they don't recognize them to pay them. You see what I'm saying? A lot of our parents in Louisiana were Creole. A lot of our parents, all that is black Indian. All that was our land. All that belonged to us. But like I said, it still plays a part when you go back into it. You look at the $5 Indians. I want y'all to look that up. There's 3 things I want y'all to look up, and I'm going to stop talking. The $5 Indians, the black Indians, the black Indians of Louisiana, and this thing called the Devil's Punch Bowl. Y'all look that up. Get knowledgeable of, stop letting a person tell you who you are, man. That's why I tell y'all have to do research on this. Nobody's just gonna give you the information. They're gonna give you what they want you to know. So while you're up here wearing these goddamn African shirts and talking about Africa and the motherland and letting Ancestry.com fool your ass, think you gonna spit on the goddamn thing, and they gonna tell every black person, oh, you 95% African. You're from the Watutu tribe. Why you think those Africans look at your ass like you ain't shit? Why do you think Africans say, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, well, I don't like them Africans because they think they arrogant. They think they better than us. Because they know the true history. The same way you are mad because white folks took your history from you, it's the same way the Africans are mad of you for what you're doing. Because they know that's not the true history. They know who you are. Only you don't know who you are. But you will take it on this thing, oh, I'm African American. You dummy, you not African American, you black American. You a black Indian. You ain't no goddamn African American. But it's hard to veer away from what you've been taught all your life. Because once you accept that, now you gotta say, all my life I've been lied to. You have to reverse a lot of things that you went up against. Now, it's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but guess what? I dare you to do your research. I dare you to do your research. The $5 Indians, the Devil's Punch Bowl, and the black Indians of Louisiana. And after you do that, you get back on the comments and you let me know what you come up with. And tell me if you'll be seeing something different. They telling you history backwards, man. You didn't come from no slave ship and was come from Africa. They took you there first and then brought your ass back and said, oh, this is where they came from. But they didn't tell you the part of history where they already came here and took your ass. You see what I'm saying? The whole South, the whole Midwest, parts of the west of the East Coast, all of that was black Indians. The West Coast, over California, all the way back into Texas, all that was Mexicans. You see what I'm saying? Texas took their land, California stole that land, Nevada stole that land, all that stolen land. They told the Mexicans, y'all gonna come off of it or we gonna take it from you. So now you look at these days, how the hell you gonna build a wall to keep somebody out that's already their land? How can you tell somebody to go back to Africa when this ain't even your land? I ain't never been to Africa, and my people ain't from no goddamn Africa. White is not even a race. Caucasian is not even a race. European is not even a race. That is a mutation. That's why if two white people get together, a white father, a white mother, they make a white child. That's purity. Anything that breaks that bond, if it's a Mexican, if it's a Latino, if it's an Asian, if it's a black person, have sex with a white female or vice versa, that is whatever that other person is. If that white male have sex with a black female, the child is considered black. If that white man, if that black man have sex and have a child with that white female, that child is considered black. Only another white and another white can make that because they are a mutation. It's not a race. They don't have a dominant trait. Come on, man. I ain't gonna even say no more, man. Y'all be good, man. I'm gone, man. Y'all look that up, though.